welcome back to Poststream, a part of Channels Television's dedicated coverage of the 2019 elections, The Verdict.
Indeed. Well, this is where you'll find all the major talking points on social media in one place. We're talking trends, topics, and of course, your reactions.
Be a part of this conversation by using the hashtags Poststream, hashtag The Verdict, hashtag 2019 elections on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And you can also follow the conversation. You follow our website on Channels TV, and of course, follow all those handles you see on your screen.
Well, moving forward now, joining us to look at how electorates should conduct themselves on election day is a political scientist and a lecturer at Nile University, Dr. Yahaya Yakubu, who joins us via Skype from Abuja. Well, it's a pleasure to have you this morning, Doctor. Dr. Yakubu, if you can hear us, good morning. Thank you for joining us on Poststream.
Good morning, Victor.
Of course. So, I mean, there is the back and forth about whether you should stay or you should leave the polling units when you're done voting. What should electorates be doing generally, I mean, on this day?
Actually, well, since there's a law that provides that you can actually wait for your votes to be counted and for you to wait and defend it as well. In my opinion, regarding what happened last week, the isolated incident where we saw a policeman being harassed by certain elements that came to disrupt election, if we had more people in that polling unit, it would be less likely for 5 or 6 people to just come and disrupt elections going on. So while it is encouraged, while we would, from one aspect, encourage people to stay, from the other, staying there might cause some other form of rowdiness, which may also lead to some form of disorganization. So it depends. It is a both-way thingy. So the idea is that if you are there, we as Nigerians have a role to play to defend our votes. And the security personnel also have a role to play to make sure that our votes are defended and we are allowed to vote under conducive environment. So I think the idea is orderly conduct. Whether we decide to stay or go back home, the order in which we conduct ourselves in the polls goes a long way to determine whether the polls will be credible or not.
Well, speaking of conduct, how would you say Nigerians have conducted themselves in previous elections?
Well, going by what has happened in the past, I would like to say that we have come a long way. Our democracy is still being a relatively growing one. We have displayed high level of civic responsibility in the manner in which we conducted ourselves at the polls. If you notice, the violence that happened and led to cancellations in some certain areas as compared to the past is more prone. It is less widespread. So I will commend Nigerians. I want to commend Nigerians rather for the manner in which they have taken to the polls, voted, and in some instances waited for it to be counted. So I think we are getting there, surely.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if you say the Nigerians have conducted themselves, properly, there was the order or the recommendation, of course, by the president talking about how you should have security operatives at polling units. I mean, if Nigerians conduct themselves well, why do we need to have, that high level of security operatives during elections at polling booths and polling units?
I think it's not about the electorate now. For me, the idea that most of the political elite, they make politics a form of career. There's a careerization of politics in this part of the world. So it becomes a do or die affair. People see access to resource or wealth as access to political office. So some certain elements that may have selfish motive or self-seeking interest may tend or try to exploit such opportunities if we do not put sufficient securities in the polling unit to fulfill their own selfish gains. So on the one end, it is important that we have securities at the polling unit, and it is also important that these security agents are not partisan and involving themselves in the politics of the day. So while it is also recommended that armed persons around the state, as we have seen earlier today, and complaints across some part of the country may rise tension in election, I think it is for the benefit of the free conduct of such elections. Because if you have sufficient security agents at the polling unit, it is less likely that individuals will come there to disrupt the election.
All right, Dr. Yakubu, now we did take a tweet earlier from one of our viewers who said if he or she found, heavy security presence at a polling unit, that she would just leave and not vote. I'd like you to very quickly comment on that.
Well, I think that's he or she, that's her personal opinion, and as the law permits it, we are all entitled to ours.
Well, very well. Thank you again for joining us on the program, Dr. Yahaya Yakubu, a lecturer political science lecturer at Nile University. Well, let's go back to the field again to have a feel of what is going on there.
Now, this is polling unit 002 in Narayi, Kaduna, and as you can see, the time is exactly 7:52, and election materials, voters, security personnel, and materials are already right here in the polling unit, as you can see, and they are all set to go. The polling officials right there are actually counting the electoral materials, and if you ask me, I think they are good to go in this polling unit. My name is Agu Kingston, the coordinator for Coordinated Development Observers Team in Kaduna State.
This is Yomi again. As at 8:55 this morning, there are 3 polling units in this axis. That is, one is on Ivenagbo, the other is on Ali Olajide, and this is the third one on Suliabore. All 3 of them, they are yet to be polling unit officials as we speak. So we feel that it's going to derail the exercise. But having said that, we know that the process is much more less tedious and straightforward. But this would further make people not come out, because when they come out and they see that, oh, these guys are not serious, the tendency for them to go back into their house and not want to come out is very high. So we are saying that this is a step back from what we had seen earlier. Last 2 weeks, it wasn't like this. So we hope that INEC officials will arrive here soonest. Thank you.
Well,
that's the hope. Hopefully, because they were all time-bound, there were timelines, 7:45 thereabouts, hopefully that situation has changed at those polling units.
And I do expect that Yomi will send us an update on that situation.
Indeed, indeed.
Well, that's how we wrap it up on Pollstream at this time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to be a part of the conversation.
Keep sending your videos, keep sending your pictures and your tweets and your reactions from wherever you are around the country. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Matthias.
Amayawa Ugundili.